Grand Rising, family. Grand Rising. In my meditation this morning, there were a couple of things that, Spirit had me doing that I was doing. And I got to reading some of my notes, some of the things in my spirit book that I walk around with. The Spirit has me write down. And I had to put it down because I was led to just quiet myself for a moment. And I don't know how to describe it, so I'm gonna describe it. Just I put my energy feelers out to feel the energy in the world around me. Like what's the first thing I'm picking up in the atmosphere? And it's what came to me is you have to decide when enough is enough. Change doesn't start in anything until you decide that you are fed up with it. Everybody can tell you that it's wrong. You don't need to be going through this. You don't need to be blah, 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 blah. You need to leave your job. You need to leave whoever. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. But until something clicks in your own mind, then it's not going to happen. You can tell yourself, yeah, I need to leave this shitty ass job. I need to leave this job. I know I need to leave this job. This job isn't paying me anything. I need to leave this job. But until something clicks in you as to why you need to leave that job, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What does that mean? You've already decided you're going to leave the job. You need to leave the job. Okay, you need to leave the job. Okay, you've put out, sometimes you'll be looking for a job, but what you haven't done is decide decide that it's full on clicked. It's like a dimmer, okay? The dimmer goes slowly. It goes from not being on to slowly lighting, more light than it's fully illuminated, right? So that's how it is. That's it. It needs to click. When you say, oh, I need to leave this job, you're turning the dimmer on. You need to leave this job. It's in, you said it. You feel it, but it's not yet in your being. Okay. You feel it. You hate this job. Every time you think about it, you're just like, I hate this place. I hate this place. I hate this job. But you still keep going because you still have bills to pay. You still have obligations. You still have things to do, You still got to live. You still need a paycheck. And then one day, you're at this job you hate so much. And then I can't explain how it's going to be for everybody, but for some, it's going to be like a calm peace is all of a sudden going to come over you. And it's going to be like what you're going to realize, how it's going to go from slow dimming to fully illuminated, is you're going to realize the value in yourself is more than the value you've placed in your job to provide for yourself. Understand? You have realized that you're more than where you are. And you have decided that where you are isn't going to control you. I'm literally just doing this. I got everything cutting on. You have to decide. If you know that you're with someone and they're just making you feel bad, talking down to you, and you feel like there's nowhere else for you to go, nowhere else for you to turn, see, you've got that dimmer on. What you haven't done is make that dimmer turn all the way to illumination. All the way to illumination. And what that means is asking yourself why you feel this way. Because then Spirit will give you the understanding on why you feel this way. The universe will give it to you. God will give it to you. However you want to look at it, you will get the answer as to why you are feeling this way about this situation. And understand, you are not in a situation randomly. Okay? You are there for a reason. There's a lesson you need to learn. There's a message for you in it. There is never a situation that you are not supposed to either learn something, somebody is supposed to learn from you, or there's a message in there. Okay? Like, I worked at a place with a smile in its name. I'm not going to name the place, but if you know me, you know the place that I am referring to. Third shift, I love working third shift. I don't have to interact with a lot of people, and I can work in my own space because I work at a certain speed. I like to get it done. Let's go ahead and do this. You understand? Like, we can laugh and joke at work, but I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I get in my zone, and baby, I was in it. You know what I'm saying? Without question. But at this place, and this is why I say things are not ever random. You will be where you are supposed to be for a reason. And looking back on things now and piecing things together over the years, I saw where I wasn't paying attention to Spirit, and Spirit let me know this. And I see where I was, and Spirit has let me know that too. See, okay. I was working at a place that has a smile in its name. Okay? And what I did there, when I started, I loved working by myself with these boxes, and sometimes I would work with someone else, but they didn't like working with me because I moved too fast. It was good. I was good, but I moved too fast for them. Didn't bother me. But when people I didn't really say too much to anybody, but when I greeted people, especially my people, hey, Queen, hey, King, how you doing? How you doing, Queen? Pardon me, King, because I walk fast too. Pardon me, Queen. Pardon me, Queen. Hey, pardon me, brother. I'm just trying to get through. Excuse me, sis. It was never just move, get out the way, excuse me, or I didn't say anything. I always greeted anybody that I walked past. Just excuse me, darling, because I'm from the South. Doesn't matter. Excuse me, darling. On your left, on your right behind you. Always pleasant, always smile. But I never go out my way to talk to people. Not always. When I first started there, just talking to people, and I laugh. I got jokes for days. If you've had a conversation with me, you understand this. But I got jokes for days, and I started hugging people. Not everybody, but I would hug people. And I went to go hug this one girl, and she started crying. I didn't understand. Okay. And because I stayed with my affirmations, I stayed with my altar, I stayed with my rituals, and every morning I spend a few minutes, at least a few quality minutes in silence with the universe. She would cry when I hugged her. And then she would just like, don't hug me. I don't want to cry today. And it wasn't just her. I found out it was other people. And it wasn't just women. I would hug men, and they would start tearing and be emotional. And they were just, I don't know what it is about you. Okay. And then I got another job where I was able to walk around the building. And I got to talking to people. And I would talk to them how just... And there was a lot of machines in here. It's a lot of noise. I would, in spirit, sometimes I would look at somebody, and spirit would tell me to talk to them, and I would talk to them, and after it was all said and done, and I'm like, all right, I got to keep going so I can keep counting these. I have no idea what I just said, but I just sat with somebody for 10 or 15 minutes. I have no idea what I just said. But I said something because I remember my hands, because I talk with my hands. I'm doing it right now. I talk with my hands, and I remember them engaging in a conversation. I can barely remember what they said, let alone what I said. And then they'll talk to me about it later, and I'll vaguely remember. But when they talk to me about it later, it's because I just gave them a jewel. I gave them something. And someone had said to me at this place with a smile on its face, you know what, Shay, you need to be doing a podcast because people need to hear your words. Never crossed my mind. Never thought about it. But it was because that's what Spirit had led her to do. I kept working, going, and I didn't really listen too much, but I kept doing what I needed to do because I had bills to pay. And what I started doing was not so much ignoring Spirit, but I needed to be here to get money first. Not first, but at almost the same level. I hated going there. Oh my God. I hated going there. And it wasn't like that at first, but it had gotten to that point. But I loved the people I interacted with. And I didn't even really interact with everybody. I was hugging straight. Like I would walk up to somebody, and they would stop their whole conversation with anybody they were talking to, higher ups, anybody they were talking to, teaching a class. It didn't matter. And they would stop what they were doing and come and hug me. People knew me. Can I get a hug? Come up to me and get a hug. And it would literally make their day better. It was an energy exchange. Okay? It was an energy exchange and someone actually told to me, they were like, I don't know what it is about you, but when I hug you, I feel so much peace. And I had to let that sink in. Okay? But again, I hated coming to this place. I hated this place. It literally got to that point. And I was telling myself that, just dimmer, okay? Dimmer. It started getting to the point where Spirit told me I needed to leave. Spirit told me. I said, okay. I need to leave, but I still kept working because there are things that needed to be done. Now, because of how I've grown, how I sit in the ethers, in the heavenlies, the things that I have done to get to where I am at, it's not for the faint of heart, okay? It's not. Some of the jewels that I'm giving you are jewels that I've had myself. And when I tell you that there are so many more in the things that I've had to do to get to this spiritual place that I'm at, my journey, baby. So me and spirit interact a different way. Spirit knows how to get my attention a certain way because of the things I have done and the relationship I have had with, and I do have with my spirit, with my ancestors, with my spiritual warriors. So when I decided to not really pay attention, thinking that, I needed to keep working. And this is fairly recent. That, I can keep doing what I need to do because I'm thinking, I need money to do this because there are things that I'm doing spiritually. I need money for this. Not remembering that I am money. Baby, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. And if you understand, you understand. But if you don't, baby, especially you sisters out there, you beautiful queens out there, I need for you goddesses to understand you are money, baby. But neither here nor there. Where that's not what this is about. Just another time. I had forgotten that very briefly. But I was going because people were learning from me there. They were telling me this. I was this one lady told me she loves coming to work when I'm working. She knew my schedule and it was different from her schedule because she said me hugging her was helping her heal. It was helping her heal her kidneys. She was going to chemotherapy and she was, and I was helping her heal. And she was telling me this, and I'm looking at her looking like she's getting better. I'm like, your treatments are getting great, and I'm talking to her and she tells me that, and it's like, okay, I'm on to something. Dimmer, right? That's part of the dimmer. I don't like this place. I hate this place. But I make a change, right, to the people who are in this place. Like my presence changes the atmosphere in this place. And I know this, I'm not being arrogant, but damn it, if you know me, you understand what I'm saying. My atmosphere, in my presence in this place changed the atmosphere. But Spirit told me I wasn't supposed to be there. My work was done. I did not think my work was done because I was still meeting people, still interacting with people. So what Spirit did was Spirit made it so that it was literally, I needed to either leave that place or die in that place. And that was just my health. Like I could literally be standing there working, and then out of nowhere, literally nowhere, I would get to feeling faint, super dizzy. I couldn't move. I was having so much pain and could hardly walk. They tried to call the ambulance on me one time because they didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, no, it's, my boo's coming. The other time I left. The last time I had to have two people walk with me out, and I was on one of the one of the things there, one of the mobile devices there to help walk me up to the front, because if they were to tell upper management or somebody, in the little wellness area what was going on, they were definitely going to call an ambulance for me, because this wasn't the first time. And what's crazy is it was in a short time frame. I had been at this place like a year. What the hell's going on? Spirit had to get my attention. And it had to get my attention in a way that when I say that, it sat me down. When you can't work, when you can't do what you think you need to do, it puts things in a different perspective, and you have to look at things a certain way. I wasn't supposed to be there. Spirit told me my work there was done. Done. I didn't think so. But the last time when I literally had to sit down, I looked at my man, and I give thanks for him and the young lady that were there. They literally looked at me. She looked at me and was like, "What's wrong with you?" Because she just left me like 5-10 minutes before, and I was fine. She came out, she was like, "What's wrong with you?" That's how fast it happened. I looked at them and I said, "I have to get out of this place. It is killing me. I need to go." Because the energy in that place was draining. And it wasn't just draining me. That's how I met a lot of the people that I met there. It was the energy in that place, and my energy was different. My energy was very, very different. Even when I had a bad day, I was told that, they were trying to send me good vibes and everything to protect me, but shit, they found out I was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the energy there was so negative and so different. It was a whole, everybody's energy from the morning and the nights coming into that building, getting sucked into these machines, these boxes coming in, or from the energy of everywhere that it's coming from, with the dust on everything it's coming from, the truck drivers that were driving it there, the people unloading it. It all works together. Okay? And how I feel things, all that energy, Spirit took down the veil in me so I could feel it all in my body and feel what it was doing. I had to go. That was the dimmer going from I'm just dimming on to full illumination. The moment I was sitting there and I was in an immense, undescribable pain. I could not move, undescribable pain. I probably needed an ambulance. I'm going to be serious with you. But I knew that that was not it. I knew it wasn't it. I sat there in an undescribable amount of pain, and a sense of peace and resolve washed over me. And I said, I need to go, and I am not coming back. I have never been back. Not to the parking lot, not nothing. And there are a couple people there that I keep in touch with. I've got some phone numbers, but I guarantee you, if I went to the parking lot and just stood there at the time people were coming out, it would be like, "Oh, Shay, hey, I'd get all the hugs and love." And it's cool because it's energy. It's because my energy and how it was making them feel. But I had to see how I was feeling first and put myself first. And see, for me, that's how the dimmer got from, I'm just slowly turning on to full illumination. That's when it was enough is enough. That was when the resolve came that enough is enough, and then a change was made. Because it wasn't hidden that I didn't like the job. Just if you've worked if you've worked at this place with a smile on its face, it's not for it. Some people love it. Don't get me wrong, some people love it. But if you didn't, you understand what I'm saying, because it's hard to explain, but you know what I'm saying. You know. I mean, just the some of the people, it was unreal. Just the favoritism, the race, unreal. Anyway. I got that resolve. That calm, peace feeling when you've made a final decision that enough is enough. That's when change happens. When you decide that you aren't going to keep living like this, let's say. You're not going to keep living paycheck to paycheck. When you've made that resolve, when there's a peace that comes to you, when you say these things and it's a calm, and you'll feel it. That's when the change, that's when the click, that's when it's full illumination. You can say it all the time. I'm tired of the way I'm living. I'm tired of the way I'm living. I'm tired of living in this neighborhood. I'm tired of this. I can never get out of here. I'm tired of this. But until there's that resolve, that calmness, and then there's that click, that's when you realize that's when you'll find ways where you can save money, where you can start shaving your expenses to get out of the situation you're in. That's when, you're actually doing the inner work. You're making deposits in this spiritual bank. And you're saying, okay, I'm doing this because I'm going to need to withdraw soon. That click has happened. I'm going to need to withdraw soon. That's when resources start to become available to you that you didn't even know were there and available, because you finally made the resolution and it's finally clicked. How it clicks is that it takes the inner work. It takes the inner work. How it clicks, you'll know. You will literally feel it. But you can tell yourself all day that you're tired of something, you want to leave something is just not good for you, you're going to change it. You can tell yourself that all day, months, years. You can tell yourself. But until you think about why, when you sit with yourself and it's inner work, it's not going to click. Like it's like a lighter that's running out of fluid. You got to click it. You got to run it a few times just to get a flame. But see, if the lighter's running out of fluid and you're running it, and then you get a flame, it's a small flame. And if you leave that flame on, it eventually will go out, right? But now if you got a brand new lighter, you flick that joint once and it's on, and it stays on. As long as you're pressing the thing down, it is on. That new lighter is the resolve. You flicking that new lighter on and that big ass flame, that's the click. That's literally the fire that you have set underneath yourself to get you to move in that direction. When you move in that direction, when it clicks, all these deposits that you're making in your spiritual bank, they're there. Your balance is going up. It's going up. It's going up. And then when you need to make a deposit, that's when things come to you that you weren't expecting. That's when things come to you and resources open up to you that you weren't even expecting. Because your spiritual bank is what opens all the banks, okay? period. Your spiritual bank opens them all. Now, I hope that really sinks in with you. You got to make deposits to make the withdrawal and understand your spiritual bank, it rules them all. We're all trying to make withdrawals every day, but what have you put in? What have you put in this spiritual bank? Make the resolve. See, I'm over here smiling because this is feeling so good to me. I feel like I just said something super powerful that somebody is going to take and run with. Make these deposits in your spiritual bank. Turn that dimmer from low to brighter to light as hell. Click, it's on. Make these spiritual deposits. Make them. Because when you need to withdraw, what you've put in is what you're going to get out. Okay? And just because you made a withdrawal doesn't mean you can't keep making deposits. It's not a loan. It's a withdrawal. You have to keep putting money in. It clicks when you make the resolve, when you decide enough is enough, when you realize that you've had enough, when you've got enough in your spiritual bank account, the spirit is like, hey, you've reached your spiritual goal for right now. Just, you ready? That's the click. And like I said, you could tell yourself something for months and years, but until you sit with yourself and you ask yourself why you feel this way, listen to what the universe is telling you, it's not going to click. You have to do these things. People are at jobs that they hate for years. Why? That makes no sense. Now, does it? You're at a job that you hate for years. Why? Because the resolve hasn't come. Something hasn't clicked. You're playing with the dimmer switch. You haven't made any spiritual deposits, or the ones that you're making are very few and far between, and they're small. What you get in, what you put in is what you get out. And your spiritual bank is the highest bank. So what do you put in there? Because what you pull out of that is everything. Literally everything around you. So what are you depositing into your spiritual bank? Take control of your mind. Flip the switch. When you get fed up when you get fed up, not when anybody else tells you need to be. Do the work. Flip the switch. Turn the dimmer all the way on. I promise you, you'll never see an illumination like that. I appreciate you listening, fam. I feel so good right now. So good. And I'm smiling so big. I'm glad I could share this message this Spirit put on my heart. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. I very much appreciate it. And y'all have a great day. Peace.